good evening, Toastmasters and special guests. So we just had Easter yesterday, but we're still now in the Easter season, which is a Christian holiday, but I think the concept goes way beyond that. So anyway, I'm here to do my first speech and talk a little bit about myself. Well, I'm supposed to talk about myself, and but I'm gonna start with this first. Just introduce myself a little bit. I was born in Caracas, Venezuela, and I don't know. A lot of people might not have heard of Venezuela, but they might have heard of President Hugo Chavez, which he became famous because he did a speech in the United Nations a few years ago, and actually he's a tremendous speaker. I mean, he likes to be entertaining. He's the president, but he can talk like for 4 hours on TV, and people just they're just gonna sit there and listen to him idly. He's definitely could be like a pop idol in the political sense for sure. Now, like I said though, I grew up in Venezuela in the 70s. Venezuela was actually it came from a bit of transformation from starting in the early 20th century as one of the poorest in Latin America to one of the, actually in the 70s, one of the richest. It's an oil-rich country. So this is where I was born and where I grew up. It's one of the best periods in Venezuela. It was known as, they called it Saudi Venezuela at the time. But now, one of the things that stuck with me at the time, as I was born right in the center of the city, and I would look outside my window. You can see it's in a valley in mountains, and outside you'll see the what you would call in English shanty towns, and well, that's something that always stuck with me, even today. I thought about the inequality of society, and I was thinking about also what happened in Venezuela, because after the 70s, there was actually kind of a financial. Well, there was a collapse there, and one of the things that there was many reasons for it, but I'm not gonna go into all that here. But one of the things that was said was that the inequality. It was said that in the after the 70s, the GDP dropped actually like 30-something% for each worker, even though the labor force participation increased. And it's been said that it shows inequality as one of the reasons for the lack of development, the lack of opportunity that was not taken to also to diversify the economy, etc. But now also, well, going back to me, because I'm just kind of getting a background of where I was born and where I was from. Where it's like, but like I said, I grew up in the middle of this city, mostly with working people. Actually, in my neighborhood, a lot of the people most of the people there were immigrants in Venezuela, including my parents. And but there was different people from some countries like Italy, Portugal, Spain, and all the other countries of Latin America. So I myself speak Spanish and Portuguese. English is not my first language. Well, probably because I came here. But now later, my parents decided to come to the U.S., so I came here as a teen, and well, my dad knew English, but he studied before in the U.S. But going back to the theme that it stuck with me in my mind, inequality. Also something that's keeps a country like Brazil, for example, from, because it's got a great emerging potential, but it's still keeping Brazil from becoming what it should be. Anyway, Hugo Chavez, he's exploited a lot of those sentiments, those feelings of inequality, disparity, and he's thought about almost making it like another Cuba. He's thought about communism as the answer for the problems there. I myself, I don't believe it's the answer. We should be free. Well, here in this country, we have to be free to pursue our well-being economically, financially. However, one thing that I want to kind of finish up with, when I think of Easter also, Easter is Easter is a concept of renewal, and I had to me, Easter is a very, I had a experience where, I came to see a concept that's a little, it's not just, it's not only found in Christianity, but actually in all religions, which is that, well, basically you're your brother's keepers, and you're your brother's keepers. So the Bible says, whatever you do to the least of these, you've done unto me. This is basically the whole reason I think one concept that we lacked in the world, and one of the reasons for our problems that we had in Venezuela and elsewhere. But this is one concept that's stuck with me all this time, and it's one of the main things I want to take away from Easter. Is a very practical thing to do. When we're in Easter, we just we celebrate Easter. And for Christians, we celebrate the resurrection of our Lord. But how are we going to live that in our day-to-day lives from now on, like from Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday? So I think that's one way to do it, definitely, is to, whatever you've done to the least of these, you've done it unto me. And I hope I can do that, find a way to do that in my life. And I hope we can all think of ways to do it.